2005 and completed 6 Sigma Green Belt training in 2007. His previous work experience includes management position in retail industries and within the National Euro Changeover Committee.
short clip just to give some information of what's available. Basically, Malt Enterprise has a package of assistance for startups. It's not just incubation services. We have an incubator currently where we house startups for the first 2 to 3 years in one of our units. And from there, we can assist with the packages for startups, but you can also be obviously a startup out there in a private premises from a private office or workshop, not just in the incubation center. So, what kind of assistance we offer? As I was saying, we have the incubation center. The incubation center offers flexible space, starting from very small 35 square meter units, going up to 100 square meter units. And one of the important things that we offer there is flexibility. You start from a very small unit to lower your costs. In the beginning, you are one person working alone for the first few months. You rent a 35 square meter unit. As you go along from one month to another, you increase the space depending on the activity as it's going along. But it's not just space. We're not we're not there for retail purposes. We offer shared services, and that's the most valuable services that I think we offer instead of the spaces, which is usually the most attractive one that one approaches us for, because why? The availability of space within a few weeks from talking to multi-enterprise is very attractive. Basically, as the process is right now, we approach multi-enterprise. If you fit in one of the sectors we are targeting and you are innovative, in 3 to 4 weeks you can have the keys and start operating from a unit. That's very attractive. But we don't just focus on the space. Apart from innovation, one of the very important things that we look into is that the individual behind this idea is willing to learn. Because we are not there just to offer you space, stay there for 2 to 3 years, we don't see your face, and you go out as if you have been there in a private premises. So, we have a package of assistance which forms part at the end of an incubator program. The incubator program is there to set milestones for the startup company and for the entrepreneur to follow from 1 year to another, so that at the end we know that this entrepreneur and this startup has filled the gaps that they had in their first few months. Most of our entrepreneurs, the ones that approach us, are usually highly technical. They are experts in their field, engineers in software engineering, whatever basically, but the skills they learn are not in the technology they are going to propose, but in running a business, in running marketing, HR management, all the other aspects apart from the technical part. So we try as much as possible to build a program for the entrepreneur to fill those gaps. So one of the things that we offer is advisory services. Advisory services in terms of writing the business plan. We don't write the business plan for you, but we help you in asking the right questions and finding where to look for the right answers. Along with the advisor, we have mentoring, which is very different. Usually the mentor will put him in after the business plan to help you put that business plan to practice, challenge your decision making that you're going through to first, especially in first year. We also have training program with the basic skills that each entrepreneur needs. We're not in the incubation center. We do not focus on one industry. Right now, for example, we have people in ICT, we have people from mechanical engineering, we have people, entrepreneurs in the steel industry, so it's various profiles of entrepreneurs. So with the training we offer some basic skills, marketing, the legal aspects that you need to face with and you need to take care to run a business, funding, how to access funding, and all these skills that you need to take your business forward. We do not ask entrepreneurs to take these programs by force. We cannot force anyone to take these programs, but it's a very important aspect that we look into during the evaluation we do in the first few months that we're meeting you. If we see that you're not willing to learn, as I was saying before, but you just want the space, you're not going to basically benefit from our services. So, apart from advisory, training, mentoring, there is also nowadays the office of Business First, which is not something just for the incubation center. Business First now has been running from our head office for around 18 months. It has been very effective, I think. It's a very good service under one roof. you can access basically almost all the services you need and the registrations you need to register the business. So up till a few months ago, up till let's say 2011, in order to start a business, you needed to go to the vet department in Birkirkara, to the Inland Revenue, etc., MFSA if you're going to register a business. So I already mentioned 4 different departments which each startup has to start with. So Business First has grouped all these services and others, like registrations with MTA, for example, the commerce division, the trade licenses, under one roof. So we've seen cases where in 30 minutes you go there, you sit with one of our representatives, and in 30 minutes you apply for all the services with our guidance. Once you're there, obviously, you also are getting the information about all the schemes offered by Malt Enterprise. So the concept is one-stop shop. You go there, and without losing a lot of time and trying to figure out where you need to go, and sometimes missing out on something, if you go to Business First, you make sure that you've got all the check boxes ticked out properly. We also have programs when it comes to internationalization. It's sort of divided into 2. We have the Gateway to Export program, which is, I think, the first step, the first very important step, which is an advisory/training program, where at the end of this program you end up with a report with milestone targets you need to check before going out there, spending time and money trying to get into new markets. We were realizing that people were coming along with us, ourselves, to trade fairs, business-to-business meetings abroad, which meant time and money. But once they're realizing that they are not ready to export, sometimes it's because of very trivial issues, or sometimes it's much more than that. Sometimes it's the production facility, for example, realizing that you have a capacity of 10,000 products per month, going out there and realizing that the first order would be of 10,000 units per week. So you need to go back and work a lot before going out there. So the Gateway to Export program basically will assess the gaps you need to fill in before trying to find international markets. Once you are ready for internationalization, you can join us on one of our trade missions. Malt Enterprise selects its own trade fairs, business-to-business meetings, and you can come along with Malt Enterprise with 50% of the expenses reimbursed to find and to try and tap into international markets. We have also a grant for startups, which is a €15,000 grant. Basically, it's through a business plan, which is the same business plan you need to get into the incubation center. And through this business plan, you can basically be awarded a 15,000 reimbursement grant on capital expenditure, which can be very useful during the first few years, because obviously you're putting out money to invest and you're getting nothing in return. So 50% of that investment during the first few months can be very useful. That's all basically. It's a package of different schemes and incentives. Some of them are not just for startups, because the Gateway to Export and trade missions, etc., are there for any kind of business. But the way we program it for startups when you approach the incubation center, it's in a way that you have a milestone program to follow during the first 2 to 3 years. We encourage everyone to approach us at whatever stage he or she is, sometimes with people with just a broad idea or something scribbled on a piece of paper. We see that this person has potential, we see that this person is willing to learn. In a few weeks, he has an office where to start from, and experience shows that from that very basic piece of paper, in a few months, most of the times he has a good business running, because he just has to will to make it. So if anyone has any kind of idea, just speak to us and we'll see to help you to take it forward. Thank you.
Well, you only need the light when it's burning low.